Hello, I'm JW. Today we're going to be going outside and having a look at some manky old lifts, or elevators if you want to call them that. And these particular ones are located in the Dolphin Shopping Centre in Poole. It's in the southern part of the UK. Now, this particular shopping centre was constructed starting in the late 1960s, and construction continued obviously a number of years, and there was various phases which were done shortly after that. So I'd say the vast bulk of this is at least 40 plus years old. And it appears that most of these lifts are also from the same time period, although of course they've had various dubious upgrades and things since then. Now, the shopping centre in whole is in various states of disrepair. Like most shopping centres, its heyday has long since been and gone. Obviously high street shopping and that sort of thing in general is having a pretty hard time these days, and there's a fair number of empty units and so on. Today we're just going to be looking at the lifts. We could look at the other disrespectful parts of it at a later time. Now, here's a quick look of the outside. This is on the northern side, and see it's next to a major road there. And you can only identify the quality of a shopping centre by its anchor store, or basically the huge big one which you can see from the outside. And this particular one, as you can see, is Primark. So unfortunately that's not really what you would call a quality establishment. For those that don't live in the UK, Primark is a large retailer of clothing and certain other items, but mainly clothing. And it specialises in selling this sort of fast fashion stuff where it's basically made for the absolute lowest possible price, basically as cheaply as you can, and it's sold as cheaply as you can, and it's intended to be buy the stuff, wear it once and then throw it away and buy a whole load more. So not really the most environmentally friendly option. So anyway, let's go inside and find the first lift. So here at the first lift, this is a fairly modern one. This particular area of the shopping centre used to be a Tesco supermarket. That was over 20 years ago. It's now been cut up into several smaller units, and this lift here goes from the ground floor we're on now, and then the first floor is actually a shop. It's Sports Direct. The lift goes straight in there, and then the top floor, which is where we're going, is actually the car park. So we'll press the button here, and that will close the doors on that end, and then we can go up, and the doors are actually going to open on the other side, which is actually the left side as we're standing here.
Going up. Floor 2. Doors opening.
So now the clanking noise has occurred, and here we are on the basically the second floor. So it's actually this car park area. So you don't get no time to get out the doors at all because they're instantly closing, and going back down to previous levels. And we can see here the paying machines where you have to pay for your parking. All parking in Poole is a paid for arrangement. We can see the charges there on the wall. Basically it's £1 an hour for as many hours as you wish to stay here. And there's also that big notice there about using cash to pay. That sign is actually on every single pay machine, which we'll be seeing some more of later, which kind of suggests that the paying with a credit card or whatever is rather unreliable and doesn't work half of the time, because say why else would they pay for an actual custom-made sign to tell you this? So anyway, that's this sort of lobby area. So what we'll do now is to actually go out onto the car park roof, and then we'll go across to the other side where there is another lift. Now, I've just gone across the roof, and we're going to basically the other side here, and same level on the sort of roof there, or the second floor. So if we go in here, we see there's a set of stairs which can also be used to go downstairs to the bottom level. We're not going to be using them. And over here we've got yet another paying machine, and the usual notice about not using credit cards when it's broken, and all of that. And say they're all exactly the same, and nothing really of any relevance there. Now here's the other lift here. Now this is a considerably older one, although it's got some more modern controls there with the sort of LED type display there. And this one, like most of the others in this shopping centre, is actually made by Bennie, a company which is no longer in existence and hasn't been for an extremely long time. And some of these appear to have the original motors as well, judging from the sound that they make. And we're hearing more of the sound of that later on. So let's call the lift anyway and just wait for that to arrive. So here it is, see the doors are somewhat sticky there when they actually operate.
Doors closing. Ground floor. Doors open.
So there we are, the doors don't open particularly smoothly, and as soon as we go through this door, the doors are actually slammed shut behind us because they're such good quality. So as with the other one, you've literally got seconds to clear the doors before they basically chop your leg off. And while we're here, we'll just have a look through this door, which has been left carelessly hanging open. This is not an area where people should normally be going. Some kind of rear service access area here, and that's another major road over there, so not really a public area, but say the door's flapping open anyway, so we may as well have a look. We can see all these tiles, they're probably 30, 40 years old at least. We can see here there's some kind of electrical room there, phase 2 incoming mains. We're not going to be looking in there because of course that's locked securely. So here we are back at this awful snappy lift, so we'll have another go with this one. And this button is obviously a more recent one, but the lift itself definitely isn't.
Doors closing. Roof. Doors open.
So as before, the doors seem very sticky and not particularly well maintained. And there they are with a good slam, just to make sure you can break your fingers in that one as well if you weren't got by the one on the ground floor. Yeah, and you can see the doors there definitely require a certain amount of maintenance. Clearly not in the best of condition. Now we'll just go down again to the ground floor, and we'll see if we can actually get those snapping doors on the camera this time, as we managed to miss them there.
Doors open.
Yep, there they go, so literally slamming so hard that they actually bounce in the middle. Now we're going to move to a different area of the shopping centre now, so we go along this rather bizarre corridor with the tiles and the terrazzo floor, and then we'll continue when we get to a different area. Now we're out in the high street here, and this is sort of stuck around the back of a shop, and this is actually just a set of stairs. There's no lift on this side, but we'll go up here anyway, and then we'll see what we can find at the top. So here at the top, and say once again the same paying machine with the same failure notice about credit cards. Now we're actually going to skip across to the other side and see this entrance here where it says stairs and lifts. So let's go inside, and yet once again one of those dreadful pay machines. And here we have two lifts, both fairly old ones. These are Bennie Lifts again, and again I've had some sort of updated controls fitted in, but the lifts themselves on this side appear to be pretty much original. See there the door where we actually entered, and again there's more stairs here as well, so you can also use those if you didn't want to use these 1970s lifts. So we see there just down to the bottom of the stairs, it's a couple of floors down, but as with the other side there's only actually one floor up here and one at the bottom. So press the button there, and it seems that the left hand lift is going to be the one that's responding in this case, so we'll wait for that and see what we can see. So we're going to this rather poorly illuminated lift, and before we actually go down there, let's just have a look at the levelling. Yeah, a massive trip hazard there because the lift has stopped a couple of inches below where it should, so let's go down to the ground. here on the ground floor, just hiding under the stairway in a non-suspicious manner, and we can see the two lifts there, and note the original bells directly above the two lift doors there, and there's a sort of red fire alarm type thing above it. Nice security camera in the box up there as well. Whether it works or not is anybody's guess. But say, though the controls have been updated, these lifts are apparently pretty much original. You can see the two black bells across the top there, and have a look there because it says lift alarm, and it does say Bennie Lifts on it as well. Now we're going this right-hand lift this time, and we'll see if we can get a bit better audio on the actual motor sound, because I think the motors in these are pretty much original. There's the labelling with Bennie Lifts Limited, Peterborough, and maximum number of 20 people inside this lift, which seemed somewhat implausible. It's reasonably large, but it's certainly not that large. So let's press the button and see what we can get on the sound for this one. So back on the top floor again, we can probably have another go at this, but annoyingly there's somebody just coming in there, so we'll make like it look if we're just going to go outside, but in reality we're going to hide in this corner until that lift has gone away, and then we can try and get the sound on the left side one. Again, the same label as in the other side, we've seen that before. 1500 kilograms or 20 people. So there's a view again of the ground floor there. The same black bell above this one as on the other side. And we can see on the left there of the door panel, we can see the original fireman's switch in there, on and off behind that bustable glass panel. Of course, whether it's still wired in or not is anybody's guess, but certainly that's an original feature. Now I'm going to just take a journey across here, which is some sort of back-end service road with half a shop hanging out in the corridor here. And we can go past this bit here where we can see there's a couple of other doors to various sort of service type areas. Apparently where you turn off the sprinklers in there as well. And to come into this sort of central area here, which is on the other car park. This is sort of largely the main car park on the back. Press the button for these couple of lifts here. Now we're just going to use this lift quickly to get up to floor H. And this only takes a moment because it's one of these weird split level things where the floors aren't actually whole floors at all, they're more like halves.
H floor.
So here we are on floor H, and this is the roof on the other side, just going across to this other small lift here, which is the reason we've come up here. So press this button here on this rather modern panel, and here is the rather small lift door itself. Now this is another fairly old lift, and it's another Bennie lift, just a single door there, and it's a considerably smaller one inside. So we'll go into this one and see it's only really for a couple of people there. Now floor H is what we're on at the moment, so we'll go down to the ground floor and see what we can find down there.
Doors closing. Level B. Doors opening. Doors closing.
So this is the ground floor, and we can see the original fire control on the left there. and a few of the modern bits just been slapped right over the original indicator panel there. Stairs over there to the right, so of course that's another option. And this bit here is basically the ground floor. That's the exit to the car park over on the left, and that goes to floors A and B, one of which is actually lower than the ground floor that we're currently standing on. So there's the stairs, and there's a small cupboard here, so let's see what's inside here. Could it be anything interesting? Well, let's see. No, it's just apparently the room where they keep the toilet paper, so nothing of any use in there. Now I'll go back upstairs again and just press the button there. And so this lift is fairly small, so you're not going to get very many people into this one. Most of the interior is probably original, apart from the actual panel there, which of course is a fairly modern replacement.
Level G-H-I.
So here at the top, and you'll see that the floor indicator above the door there is completely broken. There's no illumination in it at all, so all the bulbs obviously bust, or maybe the thing's just been disconnected for whatever reason, but certainly not actually working. The door detector does appear to work, so we don't have to necessarily get stuck in it there. And if we have a look around here into the stairway, you can see that's the stairs there, and there's the motor room there with the words total waste scrawled on it, and there's just a little hook there where the ladder would of course attach if it actually had one, and then some busted out vent above the door there as well, and then there's the letter H of course for the floor that we're currently on. And notice the fire door thing there is actually propped wide open, so of course completely useless as well. Now just going to walk across the car park here, which is not quite the roof, but there's another sort of half level up there, and we're going to go across to that block there over in the distance, and that's essentially where we actually got onto this floor. But we'll have another look at the lifts over this side. Now here are some stupid doors with handles, but the doors actually push inwards, so those handles on the outside are completely redundant and useless. So here we are inside the building here, and just got the concrete and brick walls there painted in white. And we can see that there's another door here that goes out onto the upper level above floor H, which is what we were on. And then we've got this strange split level arrangement here. And we can see over there there's the two lifts, one of which we used to actually get onto this floor. And then on the top here, which is where we're standing, there is actually another one. And you can imagine that somebody in the 1960s thought this was a great design, some kind of split level arrangement, so everybody could see what they were doing. And you see that's got that dished type ceiling as well. Again, fairly typical of things of this particular age. But of course now it all looks horribly dated and not very nice either. But no doubt it was considered really modern and up to date at the time. Now we see the motor room hole in the corner here. Again, there's no ladder or anything obviously, and it's all locked away as you would expect, so obviously we won't be climbing in there. So we'll call the lift and obviously go down again. Notice this has got a green LED panel in it for some reason, all the others were red. So I'll just wait for the lift to arrive and just listen to what the announcement actually says when the lift arrives.
Lift going down.
Yes, that's right, it actually said lift going up, even though we're actually on the top floor, so of course it can't possibly be going up because there's nowhere up to actually go to. Anyway, we're going down to the floor B, which is the bottom button on this selector, and you might think that's B for basement, but as we'll see in a moment, it isn't.
Level B. Doors opening.
So this is floor B. There's the other two lifts, of course, on the opposite side. And if we go through here where these steps and things are, that's the car park B on the left there. As you can see, we can actually go down because there's actually a level A as well, which has an apple on the wall. And then here's the actual bottom level, which is level A, which as you see here is a fairly limited height kind of area. Certainly no tall vehicles allowed in this part. Now I'll just go back up the steps here to floor B, which is this red one. And you can see through there in the door, it's quite a height restricted zone as well. We're going to go back over here and call that lift there. And this will go back up to floor H, where we started from, although of course I was on the other side.
Doors closing. H floor. Doors opening. Doors closing.
So see the doors are already closing even though we've literally just stepped through them. This is floor H with the two there, basically just on this sort of lower of that split level where we went down on the other side. So we'll call the lift again and that will hopefully bring up the one on the right there, and we can go down in that one. Now in this case we're going to go to floor E, which will be on the way out, but just have a look at the floor here. You'll see that the gap between the car and the landing is not actually correct. It's actually narrower at one side than the other, so the car somehow twisted in the shaft there.
Doors closing. E floor. Doors opening.
So this is floor E, and essentially got the doors to the shopping area here, and this is the first floor, sort of one above the ground. And we can see there's shops there on the left, toilets over there on the right, and as we go past the various things here, you'll see there's a few empty units here. As I say, like most shopping centres, there's a fair number of vacant areas in it. Of course they're quite expensive units and nobody really wants them anymore. You can crack your phone screen in that one, and there's a nice closed off one there, and then you've got one here which, although it's closed, they've sort of just stuck a load of posters in there for the other shop to make it look as if it's not really closed. This is the sort of central area of the shopping centre. There is a lift there we're not going to look at, that's just some modern hydraulic effort, so really a part of old junk there. And you can see up here it's a fairly sort of deserted thing, even though this is sort of in the middle of the day in the week. But say unfortunately this is fairly typical of shopping centres these days. And here we have left another load of sort of empty or non-used units there. And again, of course, on the upper level they're going to be far less popular than the ones downstairs. Another one there with blanked out windows. This one's actually in use. And even the ones that are in use, the HMV down there on the bottom, but of course that's just gone into bankruptcy once again, so not particularly useful. So you can shove your Amazon items to collect them. And again, over this side we've just got a load of sort of posters stuck in a window, but again it's an empty unit. And this base just comes around to the stairs, that goes up to a library above, and then there's some more stairs and another fairly modern lift here which goes down to the ground floor. Now the idea was to actually use this lift, but there seems to be something wrong with it because we literally had to wait here for several minutes, as in sort of 4 or 5 minutes, and the lift didn't seem to be moving. And we had to end up waiting over here by the windows. And then when the lift did eventually arrive, no sooner had we just started to move towards it than some woman came rushing over and got in the thing and pressed the button immediately, and therefore we couldn't actually get into this one at all. So we won't be seeing that lift today, but there's not much to see there because it's a fairly modern one anyhow. So that is pretty much the end of this video, and until next time, thanks for watching.